Hey Team Shuckle, what is up? Welcome back to another episode of Double Trouble. Today is the last battle from the stream, so that means tomorrow you will be hearing, or tomorrow for me, today for you, you will be seeing me on Twitter looking for battles. It might be later than normal because I have to go somewhere tomorrow in the middle of the afternoon, but I will be looking for battles, live VGC battles, and I'm almost done with my new team, so you'll probably see the new team either Sunday or Monday's episode, and until then I'll probably use the old team, not the Trick Room team, the one with the Gardevoir and stuff, the one that you saw a couple episodes ago, because I think that's pretty cool, with the Murkrow and the Mega Man Ectric and Gardevoir and Conkeldurr. So, getting into this battle, my opponent had some other Pokemon, I don't really remember what, and of course, you know, I brought my Blastoise Cresselia team. I think it would be pretty good for him, or I just brought it because he asked for, you know, VGC with the national Pokedex, so that's what we did. And this was my better team for that. So I'm gonna hit play. I started off with Cresselia and Blastoise. You guys know the drill with that helping hand, Trick Room, in addition to Blastoise just hitting destructively hard. So that's what I started off with. Now he does start off with Ludicolo and Mamoswine, so I wasn't really sure what my best course of action here would be, because, you know, obviously Ludicolo can hit me pretty hard. Ludicolo does have access to Giga Drain, has Fake Out. Wasn't really sure what he was going to go for, but I just sort of decided to go for Trick Room and Water Pulse the Mamoswine. I really didn't think he'd attack my Blastoise. I thought I was pretty safe doing this, and I was right, but, you know, nothing really happened that turn because he faked me out, and he protected, of course. So, that, you know, there wasn't really anything I could do there. So, I decided to do that again, pretty much the exact same turn. I'm really not too worried about this Ludicolo. I know they can hit hard. I know it has super effective against me, but I know I can survive at least one, plus I do have Heatran in the back, so I can easily switch into that. But I do go for Trick Room here. Now his Jellicent is probably going to be a lot faster than my team, and on top of that, I don't really have anything to hit this Jellicent super effectively at all. So I didn't want to bring in my Heatran here because, you know, it is a Jellicent. I go for Psyshock, which was sort of a bad play, because I guess Jellicents are run more with physical defense because it does have good special defense. So, you know, I've been saying I want to get rid of Psyshock on this team and put on Psychic, but what are you going to do, you know? What are you really going to do? So I still think, you know, this is a good combo for me. I'm going to boost the Aromatisse. Now, I really think I probably should have tried and broken that that Jellicent's substitute with 2 attacks, because I think I would have been able to knock it out with Aromatisse and then hit again with another thing. But I really don't know why I went for Helping Hand there. That was sort of silly, I think. I probably really could have done broken it with just a single Moonblast without a boost, and then do some damage with my own Moonblast. So, you know, it didn't really cost me too much. It wasn't the end of the world. I didn't really care too much, you know. But I go for Helping Hand again. I don't really know why, but I guess just to do as much damage. I guess in my mind, I figured that the Jellicent probably wouldn't be able to would be able to take a Moonblast normally. So that's why I did it. But unfortunately for me, he does switch into the Rotom Heat, and there's not much I can do. Not a lot of damage there. So, you know, he protects, and I don't remember. He actually double protects, so it really doesn't matter. Nothing's gonna happen this turn either. So I believe I double attacked the Ludicolo because, you know, at this point, I don't really see the Rotom doing too much damage to me, and at this point, the Ludicolo is the threat. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna try and double attack it. You know, with the Giga Drain, it's gonna gain some HP back. It's really not a good situation for me. But I'm trying to see how much Psyshock will do, and it actually does a decent amount. You know, I'm considering this thing's probably Assault Vest. I don't really know how Assault Vest works with Psyshock, but it's not Assault Vest. It's actually Citrus Berry, so he's probably just very bulky in the defensive. probably because of the way, Psyshock hit it, and then Moonblast didn't really did more damage than the Psyshock, so that's sort of what I assume. And Cresselia, I think, has more special attack than Aromatisse, so he's definitely pretty bulky on defense. So, I have to just make sure I know that. But I'm going to continuously go for Psyshock, but this time on the Rotom Heat. I'm curious to see that damage, and that's actually really good damage for me. I like that damage. I like the way it looked. Made me happy. So I bring in Heatran, and even though Ludicolo is a water type, I don't think it has the KOing power that it needs to take out Heatran. And he seems to know that, so he's going to switch out here. But, I actually protected here just to sort of scout out. I figured he'd go for Scald or Hydro Pump, but he actually didn't. He goes for Hidden Power on Heatran, and that actually kind of throws me for a loop, because I'm not really sure if he's running like HP Fighting. I've never really seen a Rotom Heat run Hidden Power, so it actually sort of confused me a bit, but it doesn't really come into play again, I don't think. But yeah, so I go for Moonblast this time, realizing that the Jellicent isn't as physically bulky. But because, I lose the stab on it, it doesn't really do enough. The good news is, though, I do take that Scald like a champ, and I go for Earth Power here. Because I'm thinking, hey, Flash Cannon and Lava Plume are resisted. So I think that makes the most sense in my mind. And this way, if I get rid of this Jellicent as quickly as possible, less hassle on my end, So that's just what I'm going to do. I'm going to continuously attack this. I could easily kill the Rotom, but it's really not posing a threat to my team right now. But he's faster than me, so he does get the recover off, and I'm not going to have enough attack or anything to really take it out. I went for Heat Wave because I figured at the range that the Jellicent would be after the Moonblast, Heat Wave would take it out, and on top of that, it would also take out the Rotom. Now, unfortunately, he did go for Recover, so we wouldn't really see if that would work, but hey, that happens, So, yeah, that happens. So in comes Ludicolo, and I'm like, you're probably going to fake me out, right? Yeah, you're probably going to fake me out, go for Scald, don't really want to deal with that right now, right? And that's right, that's pretty much exactly what he does. I go for Psyshock again on the Ludicolo, and I get a crit, which is fantastic, but I really need to learn to go for the Moonblast on that Ludicolo, because I know he's physically defensive, so what am I doing? Using a move that hits them physically defensively. So I go for Helping Hand here. The reason I do that is because I really think that at the end of this turn, my Heatran's going to be dead. I'm just pretty certain about that. Or at the very least, no, because I figured he would double attack me, but the Helping Hand really didn't do enough damage, and I'm slowly losing ways to kill this Jellicent. I really don't have anything to kill this Jellicent with once Heatran goes down, because all I have is Blastoise in the back, and all that has is Ice Beam. And what's Ice Beam going to do to this Jellicent? It's going to do nothing. Now, I do have Cresselia, and I could attack it, but it has Recover, and it's just not a good situation. But I go for Heat Wave, really, really hoping I can get the kill on Ludicolo, and I don't. I get really close, but I don't. And that's really rather unfortunate. But the good news is I do end up killing the Ludicolo with the Psyshock, so that's great, That's one less Pokemon down. That's one less Pokemon. And now, I have Heatran and Cresselia and Mega Blastoise, all for this one Jellicent, who's burnt, by the way. I don't know if you guys caught that, but I did get lucky and get a burn on it. So it's actually in good position. I can pretty much just sort of stall it out. I don't really have to worry about it anymore. So in comes Mamoswine, and I was like, ugh, what am I going to do against this Mamoswine? Like, what? But I protect here because I thought, maybe he's going to go for Ice Shard. Ice Shard might kill me where I'm at, but nope. I keep mispredicting that. He keeps getting a Recover off. And I'm like, oh, great. Now what am I going to do? But I end up going for Trick Room, which against the Jellicent really might not be the best of ideas, but I need the extra speed for this Mamoswine. So I'm thinking maybe he's like, oh, he's probably going to switch out with the Heatran, right? So I think I have a good chance of taking out this Mamoswine. It does go for Ice Shard, and it doesn't kill me, so seeing that made me think, okay, this Jellicin's not going to be attacking me. That's great. That's fantastic. I will get an attack off. I will be very happy with that. He goes for Scald, and I'm like, is it Heatran? Is it Heatran? It's Heatran. Okay. Well, there goes my way of killing that Jellicent. So I'm like, what am I going to do? I don't know what to do against this Jellicent. Jellicent is one of those Pokemon that this team cannot KO. Don't know what to do. So, of course, you know, I still have Blastoise in the back. And, you know, I have good HP. I have good HP range. Of course, you know, he is going to protect there and try and get away. But I'm going to actually attack the Jellicent this turn with Psyshock. And it does a little bit more damage than I thought it was doing before. Oh well. I end up actually double attacking the Jellicent because I figured, you know, hey, the Mamoswine will be protecting this turn. And, you know, instead of just hitting into a protect, you know, might as well do some damage. It'll probably do enough damage where I can kill it with Psyshock next turn. And that's sort of what I was hoping for. Because, you know, the burn will bring it down, and Psyshock should kill it. I'm really hoping it does. Really, really hoping, and that's what I'm banking on. So I go with Psyshock. It goes off, it doesn't miss, and I kill it! Yes! So I was so happy about that. You know, I wasn't sure how I was really going to handle this Jellicent. And I go for Water Pulse, and I'm like, is this enough? Is this enough? It's enough! So that was the battle. Pretty long for... I dropped my stylus, sorry. Pretty long for a 4v4, if you ask me, but it's pretty good. It was pretty good. I was really, once the Heatran went down, I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to take out this Jellicent, because, you know, it has Recover, and I'm really not doing enough damage, but the play where I decided not to attack the Mamoswine and just get some chip damage off onto the Jellicent really did end up helping me out with that, because otherwise he would have been able to survive another Psyshock, and he would have been able to recover off the damage. So, worked out well in my favor, so thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. I hope to see you guys in the next video. Peace!